Look at this place. This is Meghalaya, a state in northeastern India famously known as the Land of Clouds. It's a region defined by ancient forests, indigenous tribal communities, and a reputation for breathtaking, untouched purity. When you think of India's worst air pollution, your mind likely goes straight to massive, choking megacities like Delhi or Noida. You expect concrete jungles buried under thick brown smog. Look at this 2024 air quality chart. The number one spot isn't a sprawling metropolis. It belongs to Burnihot, a tiny village in Meghalaya. With a PM 2.5 of 128, the air is 25 times the WHO safe limit. Amazingly, the nation's absolute worst, most hazardous air quality is hiding right inside its most famously pristine state. Up in these hills, a thick haze settles over the natural landscape. From a distance, it looks like normal morning fog rolling through the mountains, but the locals know the difference. The families living here have to scrub the vegetables they grow in their own gardens 3 or 4 times and then wipe them with cloths, just to get the industrial grime off their food. That distant canopy appears lush and green, but step inside and you realize the entire environment is coated in a permanent layer of soot. You can literally swipe your finger across a single leaf and uncover a dense black paste of toxins coating the ecosystem. A forest-dwelling community, deeply tied to the natural world, has been swallowed whole by an industrial nightmare they never asked for. To understand how this happens, we have to look at this map of northeast India. Notice Burnihot's exact location. It sits squarely on the political boundary separating Meghalaya from the neighboring state of Assam. Just 20 kilometers away is Guwahati, Assam's largest economic hub. Burnihot acts as a convenient, out-of-sight backyard for that sprawling city. Over the last decade, roughly 80 heavily polluting factories were built directly against this specific boundary line on the Assam side. Assam reaps the economic output of all those industries, while the prevailing winds push the smoke, ash, and chemical emissions straight across the border into Meghalaya. When local leaders demand action, joint border committees are formed, a few inspections happen, and then the process stalls. Neither state wants to assume the financial burden or the political fallout of shutting down the industrial zone. It is a textbook case of border exploitation. The toxic byproduct easily crosses state lines, but legal accountability stops right at the checkpoint. The geography makes the situation significantly worse. This 3D cross-section shows Burnihot sitting inside a topographical trap, a bowl-shaped valley surrounded by elevated terrain. The heavy industrial smog rolls in and simply gets stuck. The surrounding hills block the wind from clearing the air, forcing the local community to live inside a permanent, concentrated cloud of toxins. The contamination extends to the water supply. Factory operators install underground pipes to release liquid waste directly into the local river systems. Between 2022 and 2024, respiratory illnesses in the area spiked by 77%. Residents now speak about asthma, skin diseases, and cancer diagnoses with alarming frequency. People who once lived completely off this land are now serving as the silent, uncompensated collateral damage for an entire region's industrial expansion. So what exactly are these massive facilities pumping out into the Burnihot skyline? The facility responsible for some of the heaviest emissions in the valley is an ethanol plant. This ties directly into a national mandate. The government requires a 20% ethanol blend in consumer petrol, pitched as a vital step to reduce the country's carbon footprint and transition toward green energy. Politicians point to that blended fuel as proof of their eco-friendly progress. Meanwhile, the actual process of manufacturing that clean additive requires running heavy machinery around the clock, dumping hazardous waste, and destroying a local microclimate. We are improving a national green statistic by poisoning an isolated tribal community. Sustainable development loses its meaning when the environmental cost isn't actually eliminated, but simply exported to a border town where nobody in power has to breathe the air. A nation cannot accurately claim it is moving toward a cleaner future if it has to sacrifice an entire village to manufacture the illusion.